Be here, but I'm gonna turn my camera off because I've got another meeting shortly after this one, so I'm just gonna grab a sandwich, and I don't want you
And
going down.
you could eat on here. I think Mary Jo will be eating too. So
Will she? Oh, okay.
yeah,
Good,
so
good, good.
you're fine. Anne's eating.
With the camera. Oh, what are you eating today, Anne?
I've got some nuts in these
Oh,
little bags. I buy them, stupidly in little bags, but actually it saved me from eating
great.
too much.
Good idea. Good idea.
And I'm going to introduce Rena McCoy is on. For those
Yes.
of you who don't, the name may ring a bell. That is Juanita's niece.
Peace.
Yes. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you all.
Tina.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
So now we got Mary Jo on. Recording is
Hello.
going.
Welcome, Rena. Nice to meet you.
And I think Mary Jo and Juanita and Rena are talking afterwards to get her kick started with Manatech.
Awesome. Congratulations, Rena.
Yeah.
Ah,
Congratulations.
ride.
Hey, yay.
She lives way up north in Wyoming. Is it still snowing up there?
We had every season, day before yesterday, we woke up to snow, and then we had a thunderstorm. In the afternoon we had hail, and then we had snow again. So
Oh my, that sounds like Oklahoma weather.
it was crazy.
I had that at the Kentucky Derby one year.
Where do you live in Wyoming?
I live about 120 miles northeast of Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Mhm.
So the call today is to talk about Tuesday morning we sent you guys all out the first video. And did you guys all get a chance to watch it?
Yes.
Not all.
Yeah, sent you Mary Jo's notes.
Got those.
Yes.
And so and we realized that a lot of that video was more than what we do. Because of who she's speaking to. She's a lot of the people in the course are people who are selling classes for maybe 5,000 or selling contract work. So it's not like it's network marketing. So we thought it'd be good just to talk to you guys, answer questions that you may have first. And then Mary Jo and I were just working on a list of some KPIs for our network marketing business, for our Manatech business. Does everybody know when I say KPI, what that means?
Not at all.
No. Key performance indicators. Key performance indicators. This is something typically you'll find in every business, any standard business, and it's basically tells you whether you're really doing the business or not. You get it? So I know we're all doing this business as perhaps a side business or something like that. But if you're really serious about, making money in Manatech, then you need your key performance indicators. So on a daily basis, you make sure you're getting them in on a daily basis. Because
So raise your hand if you'd like to make some money with Manatech.
Yeah. How many people want to make money with Manatech? Yeah. So that should be our goal. That's why we're putting all this time and energy and effort into it. So if you want to truly make money, you need some kind of, since we're all solopreneurs, we can choose to sleep in for the day or not sleep in. We can choose to do 25 other things because it's your business. There's no boss. I wish I could be your boss. I'd be all over you guys, some of you, but not just kidding. But the idea is, so what are the key performance indicators that are indicative activities that are indicative of success in Manatech?
GPV.
Well, no, but GPV isn't an indicator. What you want to do is start with the basics. How do you even get GPV to start with?
I see.
And for Rena, GPV is your gross product volume that's going through your business on a monthly, you track it on a monthly basis because that's how you're getting paid. Okay.
But know that within our compensation plan, we no longer use the word GPV.
Yeah.
Now DPV.
Downline point, it stands for downline point volume.
Volume.
Downline point volume. So let's,
Be
we'll,
clear. Okay, so let's sit there. Let's
so
everybody
key
have,
performance, if you're doing an evaluation of whether you're growing or shrinking your business on a monthly basis, DPV gives you that indication of the direction of your business. But on a daily basis, what are key performance indicators? What are you looking at? What are your activities on a daily basis?
Reaching out to people, having conversations.
Exactly. The number one thing, thank you, Derek. That's the number one thing you want to think about is how many new people did I connect with today? Or at least attempt to connect with them, depending on how you use the word connect. But I like to use the word connect. It just means I called them, I had a brief conversation, I had something happen, there was some interaction. Because you can say, well, Mary Jo, I called 10 people, but no one was home. Well, good luck. Your key performance indicator says 0. I didn't talk to anybody today about Manatech. I made no presentation. I didn't have any discussion on. That should be a key performance indicator, because otherwise you could say, well, I've called 10 people every single day for the last month and you know, my business isn't growing. And I'll ask, well, how many did you get through to? Well, 1. Notice. That means your key performance indicator, one, you talk to one person and you think you're growing your business. So the idea is look at how many people am I talking to on a daily basis? And you can say, well, Mary Jo, but I'm doing it by social media. So, well, then if you made some kind of interaction with somebody that had to do with Manatech or a business opportunity or a product opportunity, if you had some kind of breakthrough on social media, that you could list as well. But posting, oh my gosh, you guys got to take this product, it's the greatest product in the world. And then you call and you say, Mary Jo, there are 400 people that viewed my site. And I go, well, how many asked questions to you? And they go, well, I only had 1. I go, you get 1 in your key performance indicator, right? You don't get to count how many people looked at what you posted. It's how many did you have an interaction with, okay? So that's a major one that we should all have every day. And you should look at that and say, you know, and this is good. This information for all of you guys is terrific for you, but it's even more terrific as you bring new people on. Because if you're not asking them to do it, if you're not getting key performance indication back from them, how do you coach them? Like when I coach Ann and I say, Ann, how many people did you talk to today? How many new people did you talk to today? Well, Mary Jo, I didn't have a chance. And I go, great. So, but I will never have a conversation with her as a downline without asking her about how many people she talked to on a daily basis. Some kind of communication. Good. Everybody get that, right? So, and you can say, well, what if we're texting back and forth? Well, texting works as long as you get in the midst of a conversation about Manatech. Texting, how are you? How's your dog? Oh my gosh, I read that and I saw that on your post on the internet. And I don't care about somebody's dog as a key performance indicator. Is it a great conversation to have to show people how much you care? Absolutely. If you want to grab something that they posted on, so you can, why? Because there's the word that's so critical called connection. You want to make connection. People will like you 10 times more if you like their dog or their cat, or you say something about their family, or it's a way of breaking what we call the ice. Everybody familiar with that terminology? When somebody's brand new, you're on hard ice. How do I soften the ice, melt the ice, break the ice? Those are methodologies you adopt and most of it involves being interested more than being interesting, right?
but since we're talking about LinkedIn, realize you're not going to be posting pictures of cats and dogs. Juanita, sorry, you cannot post your dogs on LinkedIn.
Darn it, that was our number one way to sign people up. Post those dogs. Yeah.
But when you see somebody reach an achievement at work,
yes,
you comment on that.
Congrats, you know, just saw this. That's super. You know, something that's
originally you're gonna be starting out with doing DMs to people. Does everybody know what a DM is?
Direct message.
Correct. which would be the same thing as a text message. So that's gonna, if we bring these key KPIs now back into our LinkedIn thought, and this will be developed as we go through, your DMs are going to be one. New connections are going to be another KPI. How many new connections are you making each week? And when somebody connects with you, here's some, I'm just going to share this with you. I'll get more in detail with it. Hold on, I have to get into the right LinkedIn account. So let's say you connect with someone and they connect with you. Here's your first message. When you're requesting to connect, and they connect. Hi, Lydia. Thank you for your request to connect. Curious, what is about my profile that piqued your interest to connect with me? What does that language do?
Ooh, call to action. Gives you feedback.
Correct. And it tells you how to move forward with that conversation.
Mhm.
And that came directly from Melissa, just an FYI.
Yeah, I wrote that down during the video.
Yeah.
Great.
Can you say that again?
What is it on your profile that caused you to connect with me, right? Basically.
Basically, yeah.
And I love the word curious.
Mhm.
Curious. Yeah, she started her, and that was her first word in the sentence, right?
Yeah.
Curious. What was it in my profile that caused you to connect with me?
I actually just put it into the chat too.
Yeah. So you can just take it, copy it out of the chat.
So for those of you who want to still do Facebook and the other ones, you could do the same thing on Facebook. Make sense? Okay, so what do you think would be some of the other KPIs that we could use if we deal directly with LinkedIn? Who remembers going through that? I know some of you didn't go through the free training, and when they talked about your SSI score,
Yeah.
that's a key performance indicator. Is your SSI score going up? Even though she said at the beginning it may go down, but then it will start going up. But know that that's going to be that you're talking to the right person.
And what does SSI stand for?
Social. Hold on, I'm pulling it up so I can make sure I give you the right. Social selling index.
It's specific to LinkedIn. The social selling index score ranging from 0 to 100, 0 being the worst, right? You want to get to 100. That measures how effectively you're using LinkedIn for social selling. And based on establishing your professional brand, finding the right people, engaging with insights, and building relationships. That's the definition of SSI. So it's not a random concept. They assign it to you. You get, no one else is judging you out there except LinkedIn. So it's like,
their
yeah,
algorithm.
yeah, it's their, yeah, well, it's looking at, they're assessing it based on how many new friends, what kind of activity level you have, all these kind of things, and they assess that and give you a ranking. So your goal is, if you looked at your SSI today, for a lot of us, it'd be around 0, right?
Not necessarily. So as I just put in mine, and I have not, I've done more on Mary Jo's than I have on mine. But right now, my social selling is at 43 out of 100.
So part of it is establishing your professional brand. So how well are you established on your brand? You can look at the different components of it, right?
Right.
Ooh, look at the relationship building. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Compared.
That's her largest part of her number.
Mhm.
So they said the goal is good scores on what I saw online is 75. 60 to 70, I believe, is what Melissa said. But as you start talking to the right people, they're commenting on the right people.
Lydia, you want to help everybody let them know how to find their SSI?
Yeah. I'm actually going to put a link. You need to be logged into your LinkedIn. And I'm going to put a link in the chat right now. And I'll be emailing that. You'll be getting that again. So,
Good, email it.
yeah.
I'm on an iPad.
Well,
Oh,
just
good.
www.linkedin.com/sales/SSI.
So that's gonna be something that we're gonna be tracking each month. Is your SSI score going up? If it's going down, then we'll adjust it and you'll do your post and start reaching the right people. Because one of the differences that I found on LinkedIn compared to Facebook and Instagram, what's our goal on Facebook and Instagram? It doesn't matter, get as many followers as you can on there. LinkedIn is very different. You want to get the right followers on there that are your perfect customers. So what do you think our next week's assignment is going to be?
Determining your perfect customer.
Correct. So what questions do you have about the lesson this past week? Juanita, did you have questions?
I have a question
Go
about it.
share.
Well, she talked a lot about offers, various offers.
Mhm.
And so our offers, we don't have, I mean, we have a business, but our offers aren't that, I mean, once you're in Manatech, you can pick and choose what things you want to focus on. So with those different, like the skincare or the weight product, weight loss fitness products, or the immune
Mm. And that's probably the one difference where that training doesn't work 100% for Manatech, because a lot of her people are selling her offers of coaching, or her offers of a class, or her offers of working with them on mindset or something like that. We don't have that arena. So are we going to have offers that we're going to sell someone a $5,000 offer to join our Manatech business? No.
But are our offers what I call the triumvirate that we offer in Manatech?
You want to explain that?
Yeah. What are the three major things we give to people when they join Manatech? Health, right? That's what we offer. We have so it's a whole group of products and advice and everything else that we give to them. So we have health as our main category. Number two would be wealth or income, through a vehicle that you can provide whatever income you choose to make, whether you want to make an extra 500 a month or 5,000, it's all there for you, or 50,000 a month for some of you, right? It's there. And the third element, which I think a lot of people leave out, which is really critically important in our world today, is an incredible community.
Mhm.
Community. Yeah. We have a great community. So you actually build friendships, you build long-term relationships that go transcend far beyond the health and wealth idea, right? So that's the, when I think about my Manatech business, that's what I offer people.
And the thing I need to get clarity, maybe I send a question into them about it. Because we're network marketing, it's very different. And what Melissa said in the little clip, she said, yes, it works well for LinkedIn, but it's not about selling products.
Mhm.
So what we're doing is going to be more about of basically generating business builders, which we all need. Will they also consume the product? Yes. But we don't be we're not going to be posting about products within LinkedIn. Does that make sense?
Yes, so are we going to post our content? Is that going to be based on core values, on vision?
And one of the things that you're going to be working on once we get our ideal our perfect client customer is our content pillars.
Okay.
And from those content pillars, that's going to tell you exactly what you're going to be posting on. And then you could use whether it's NowSite, ChatGTP to help you write content for those pillars.
And that, how do we go about establishing our pillars, or are we going to go by what you mentioned earlier with Mary
No.
Jo?
There's actually worksheets and there's work that you'll have to do to come up with your content pillars.
Okay. And that's from the first class?
Nope, we haven't got there yet.
So they're gonna be unique to each person, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, what were go back to our, Lydia, what were mine? Because I'm somewhere else this morning. What were the 4 that she came up
So
with?
you're for
Mindset, entrepreneur,
mindset, entrepreneur, health, wellness, and nutrition.
nutritional.
That there were 4, weren't there?
Yes.
Mindset,
Power, nutrition, financial literacy,
That's-
entrepreneurs, and mindset.
yeah. So you guys, and the 2 that may not apply to you would be the mindset, because I'm a mindset coach and I have a whole nother business around that I've been doing for years. That may not be yours, may not. Some of you may pick that up and do that. And financial literacy, that's another one that you may not find that necessarily you have a strength in, but I've been teaching and training people like for years, talking about how to sustain life. How do you get to X age and have enough money in the bank that you don't have to even think about it, right? And working with people on just a financial literacy, understanding how our financial system works and what's the best process to be able to put yourself in a position where you never have to worry about another dime, right? I do a lot of that planning and thinking for people because our world today is mostly caught up in, oh, I just made $100. How do I spend 120? Right? I mean, it's kind of when you use the word save or you use the word invest, people look at you like you're from outer space. Right? So yes, Anne.
Well, I think those words come right after talking about a goal, for example, to fund retirement. And that's one of the things that I want to become an expert in, and because I'm not.
Correct. So, and Manatech is a perfect vehicle to do that, to have people, because our world, what was the statistic? 73% have unfunded retirements in our country. That's a phenomenal statistic. That just means that most people are going to turn 65 and they're still going to be working till they're 95 because they can't survive because they didn't really save. There was no concept of saving or setting aside or whatever. Whereas Manatech, when you look at build, but that has to do with the wealth component. When you build income with Manatech, that can support an unfunded retirement, right? So you can look at it that way as well. So that could be, even though you're not a financial expert, that could be part of how you set yourself up on LinkedIn, because people will be attracted to the terminology unfunded retirement.
Right.
Unfunded
Because you have-
retirement solutions. How about that? Unfunded retirement solution.
Because you have a focus. You don't have to know how the stock market works or any of this, but
Yeah.
you do have to know what are the components of what we have to offer. And that's why Al Vallis, I think, especially that the concept, I ran it by someone and they kind of revenue sharing. I just loved that. For some reason that clicked.
Revenue
That's
sharing?
how- Yeah, well, that's how, remember he said there was the insurance and what other real estate companies haven't understood now. And the biggest one has done that, revenue sharing. And it's really what it is, it's direct selling in terms of the financial structure for everybody. Because they have agents. Before, the main corporate owned all the agents. Now the agents can have agents underneath them and they're revenue sharing with them. In other words,
Right.
and I think that's just brilliant, because it's brilliant in how he put it.
Mhm.
And it makes me feel real comfortable
Yeah.
talking.
But if you had mentioned that on LinkedIn, how would people take it?
Well, I'm not sure I do it that way.
Yeah, there you go. So when you're talking about your targets and all that kind of thing, you got to try to grasp what would be the understanding. They didn't hear that conversation, so they wouldn't have taken it that way, the majority of people.
Right. But
Revenue
it would,
Somebody throws the word revenue sharing at me, I'm thinking, I'm not going to share my revenue. Why would I share? Right?
well, actually, that's a technical term. When I first heard it, I said, what the hell? Because
Yeah.
that in local government, revenue sharing is a tool. And that's not have anything to do with that. So, yeah, at first I was wondering, what the heck is he talking about? And then it became clear that if I was having a personal conversation, would not be something that you'd say, because I think a lot of people involved in government, local governments, whatever, that's a big thing.
Good. So that's another thing to be aware of too. And when you start, and that's why it's so great to do this as a group, as each of you come up with the pillars that you want to use, it's great to run it by the group to see how other people respond to it. Does that make some sense? So because you might be looking at it from one perspective, but what's the average person on the streets looking at? To get a good idea of what everybody else would think of that terminology, it's a great group to just, throw it out there and say, okay, does this sound right? Right? So.
And then for those of you who've done the branding within ChatGTP, you could actually go in there now and say, what are my content pillars?
Use the word content pillars in ChatGPT. Great suggestion, Lydia.
Yeah.
Mary Jo, can you read Shirley's post, her chat and give feedback? I like to post, Shirley.
Thriving Thursday. Are you building a business that supports your health? Yeah, I like it.
Can you read it?
How much are we posting? The whole thing?
Yep.
Entrepreneurs are wired to push through long hours, chase big goals, and hustle for success. But at what cost? I've seen too many business owners sacrifice their health for their work, only to realize later that energy, clarity, and well-being are the real foundation. What if you didn't have to choose between growing your business and feeling amazing every day? Imagine waking up with clear focus, sustainable energy, and a body that supports. Yeah.
And then there's the rest of it. That's exactly why I'm passionate about helping entrepreneurs fuel their health while building their dream business.
Yeah.
Because stress should never come at the expense of well-being. Your health is your wealth. How do you make time for your health while running a business? Drop your best tip below. So it's kind of coming from curiosity, I think, too. But I haven't posted it yet because it was talking about health, but yet it's curious. And how are you functioning as a business owner today?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need help in that area?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought I'd throw it out there.
Yeah. I'm looking at it from the perspective of, are you trying to sell Manatech because they're health products, or are you trying to get people to make a better approach towards their own personal health? I could read this as somebody reading this, Shirley, and I would think, she's right. I'm going to stop drinking those Diet Cokes because I know that's bad. So I might make my own decisions about my own health, not thinking that you have any solution for me in that category. Does that make some sense? It's a
Yep.
great thing for to cause people to stop and think about, but
Exactly.
I don't think it's gonna draw them closer to you in terms of you have solutions for the
Except
help.
for they say, drop your best tip below.
Mhm.
Now that's gonna allow people to comment,
Interact, right?
interact, and now you could start DMing those people.
Right. Yes.
So you could attract people who are gonna, that's how you're capturing somebody, by them giving a tip in there.
Comment, yeah, tip, what they're doing for their health
Yeah.
to make them so they got the energy and, yeah, being able to do what they need to do every day. Juggle, juggle, juggle. Mhm. I could
Right.
probably go back to chat and just ask, refine it a little bit, maybe not so much focus on health, but more on what are they doing for their health today to, what's their
Yeah.
tips? How do they handle working a busy life or whatever, yeah, working a business? Because health is a big factor, I believe, in,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, or something like, let's share tips.
yeah.
Hey, let's share tips. What are your top 1 to 3 tips?
Mm,
How do you tackle it? How do you tackle it? Let's share tips. You know, so you're coming from contribution.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. No, I appreciate, yeah, thank you for your, yeah.
Just some ideas.
Yeah.
I like the way you did this.
What?
I like the way I like the writing. I like I love the idea of sustainable energy. That's kind of a great comment, actually.
Sustainable energy.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about that all the time on a broader scale, and now she's put it down to to me.
Without the
I like
acid
it.
slump, yeah.
But was it Shirley or was it Chat?
That's not, I don't want to know.
It doesn't matter. It's all Shirley. If she posts, it's Shirley.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was chat, but it has my voice too, my brand.
Yeah,
my
there you
voice,
go. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you use anything from the science site we looked at earlier?
No, I just asked it to create me. I sat down at Chat GPT. This is what happened. I sat down with Chat and I said, okay, I posted on my Facebook and Instagram and I put about Mana Boom, which I shared from, a man ago. But I thought, okay, I can't do the same thing for LinkedIn. What am I going to put? And I just asked it, write me content for LinkedIn for today, Thursday. This is what came out.
That's nice.
That's all I asked. And I thought, well, I'm going to test it. And this is what it came up with. So, yeah.
Good.
I would, the title probably, the title, I'm not sure I would jump on the title. I'm trying to just be a devil's advocate here and just
That's
thinking
what
if
I
I'm
want
going
to
to
do.
LinkedIn. And I'm having trouble with working my computer here, sorry. Thriving Thursday, are you building a business that supports your health?
Yeah. So that's more like a, should check me
That's,
out.
I might look at that. I'm just giving you my feedback. If I were
Yeah.
just paging through and saw that, I would just ignore it because I'm not in the health industry.
Right.
Does that make some sense? If I would, and that's just Mary Jo's, that I'm trying to play devil's advocate. It's just isolating myself. I'm not in Manatech. I'm not in this. I'm just in LinkedIn because I'm a lawyer. I'm a this or whatever. Are you building a business that supports your health? I would page past that. The title wouldn't grab me because it doesn't tell me, it doesn't lead me to believe I'm going to find something here, or I'm not selling vitamins and minerals. So that, maybe this person's looking for something. Other people that might be in the natural foods industry, so it doesn't apply to my selling widgets, right? You see what I'm saying?
No, I do. I like that because I'm thinking I'll go back to Chat and say, reword this.
Yeah.
And not focus on
Instead of, are you building a business? Is maybe Thriving Thursday, is your business one that is supporting you live your healthiest life? Now now it's more like, what am I doing in my business that might be stealing from me and my health? Are Thriving Thursday, is your business causing you to sacrifice your health?
Mhm.
Yes, it's like that too,
Better,
because
do you guys like that? I'm just trying to give language that
Yeah.
would be, cause
Right.
somebody to stop and say, you know, I'm getting no rest, I'm drinking tons of coffee, let me read what she has to say. So it's more of a reality check.
I like
And
that.
really,
instead of asking me if I'm in the nutrition industry, because right now it
No, I
asks me if I'm in the nutrition industry, and
that's
I would
not
have,
the intent. No.
yeah,
I
I
the
don't think
intent
that's what you
is
meant.
how are you surviving building your business that where you have clear focus, that you have that energy that you need, and to continue following those tasks that
Yeah.
need to get done every day. How are you functioning? And
Yeah.
share with me if you've got some tips, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I li-
something
I
like
li-
that.
I like your headline though, the sacrifice your health, the sacrifice.
Sacrifice your health is a big term
That-
now. Or punishing you. Are you
It's very-
punishing your health in your
Yeah.
entrepreneurial endeavor?
Yeah.
Some, because
I-
people see that and they're gonna say, well, maybe she has some solutions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my business-
And that's the key. You
Yeah.
nailed it there, Mary. That is the key. I may have a solution for you if they want to pursue.
exactly.
Okay, help me, Shirley. And that's-
Punishing their health or sacrificing your health, those kind of words are ones that generate kind of an emotional response by somebody because they know what they're doing. It's hurting.
Sacrificing your health and well-being.
Yeah.
And well-being.
Well,
Well,
that's
even
hurting.
down near the end there where I'm passionate about helping entrepreneurs fuel their health while building their dream business with what they're already currently working on.
Yeah.
Because success should never come at the expense of well-being, because so many business owners sacrifice their health because they've got
Or
this.
true success never
Right.
has to be about sacrificing health,
No, no,
right?
no. Your health is your wealth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just thank you for that. I hope I didn't take away, Lydia, what you were doing there in your
No,
training.
Perfect. This is the kind of feedback that teaches everybody kind of, you follow? It's perfect. Examples are exactly what we want because it gets an interchange and everybody can think that through. Your languaging isn't anything, it's everything.
Exactly.
You don't have a chance on LinkedIn, you don't have a chance in that moment to be in a personal interaction with them. They're just reading what you post. So know that you want to be real clear. You don't want to send mixed messages or wrong messages in how you post. So, and
Absolutely.
that's, I'm just giving, with Shirley's, I was just giving feedback. It looked like you were in some health industry or medical industry or something. And so I just go right by it. I pass by it.
That's, you want to attract them from the
Attract them. You want to attract them to stop.
2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 3 or seconds, 2 to 3 seconds. what they
Yeah.
say.
That's all you have, right?
And that's where your headline is the most important part.
Exactly. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to hook them in.
So everybody work on headlines. How's that?
Yeah.
Some of that action this week. What do you think, Lyd?
Not yet.
Yes.
Oh, look at
That's
I'm
How
jumping.
can you work on a headline before they know who their perfect customer is?
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the problem with saying who is your perfect customer, I just want to highlight to everybody. You right away get rid of the word associates because we have associates and customers. Does this make some sense? So I think we want to suggest it differently. I would say, who is your number one target market? What's your target market here? Now, it may be that you do pick, if you, all you want to do is find people to be customers of yours, then that's the right terminology. But I think we're all on LinkedIn for another purpose, to find potential business partners, right?
Yep.
So that's what you want to think about. How do you, and can you go after customers and business partners at the same time? There is a way you can do that, but it has to be without too much confusion.
Hmm. Okay. Can I just
Or-
see what I've come up with? I'm sorry, Mary Jo.
No, go ahead.
Here, my profile or headline on my profile is empowering women entrepreneurs to build a business that fuels their health and retirement dreams.
Okay, great. So you're obviously looking for business builders.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise you could put and or their retirement, but I like the and. You love the combination. If you can have 2 in 1.
Mhm, Okay.
Synergistic solution is another great terminology for you guys if you want to pick up on it. Because people, why is synergistic solution? Because people, there's solutions for anything out there, but synergistic solution is a concept that, hey, I've got a solution that it covers more than one problem I have, right? It's got synergy to it. Go ahead, Derek. It looks like you were going to say something or not. So
No, I'm thinking,
you're thinking, oh, your brain's working. Okay. So terminology, again, getting back to words isn't anything, it's everything, because you only have a few seconds for them to, when they're scrolling and looking at it, for them to decide, I want to stop here, I want to pursue it, or I would like to, I'm inquisitive. So using inquisitive terminology that causes somebody to stop is important as well.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Good. Thank you. Thank
Good.
you.
hmm.
Any other questions, comments?
Mm.
And the other thing we talked about too is the 4 pillars she gave me, right, Lynn?
Mhm.
So it's not like you have to post on all 4 pillars every time you post. You confuse
No.
people. So you
It's
would,
almost like day you do, whatever days you post, you do a different pillar. You don't necessarily combine the pillars.
right.
So
you can
basically
post-
what I need to do is go back into ChatGPT after I did my branding and then ask, what are my content pillars?
Correct.
And then start from there.
Yeah.
Because just realize that next week's videos are about 4 hours long.
Good.
One session is 4 hours long?
Well, you're going to get multiple videos, I'll be honest. So you're going to cover brand representation on LinkedIn, marketing effectively on LinkedIn, profile optimization, market research, and keyword research.
all next week. Which is
Well,
great.
Yeah. I mean, that's all needed to start even.
Laying the foundation.
Yeah.
She doesn't let moss grow under your feet.
Oh, no.
When are we getting the video of Mary Jo and Melissa?
You can play it right now, Lynn. It's what is it? 5 minutes? 3 minutes?
Yeah, hold on one second. I'm going to fast forward through the part where Mary Jo's introducing who she is.
I don't know if it'll make much sense though, Lynn.
Well, they know you. Or else we could do 13 minutes. We'll start from the beginning.
Might be.
You are next.
Yay!
That's
I
Melissa.
know, right?
by-
I'm like, I think I have sesame seeds in my teeth while we're talking.
No, I'm actually eating. I'm eating grapes. Anyway, yeah, background just real quick. I'm both a health and wealth, coach. Mindset is like foundational. I was a lawyer by profession, vice president, general counsel, publicly traded company. So I had massive jobs, but I came across it, mindset work probably 30 years ago, and discovering my core values, what really just catapulted me loving life large, if you can understand that, right? So I fell in love with that, and I'm one of those people. I also, work on core values, what your core values are, and my number one core value came out as contribution. So I had a great investment that turned into $1.4 million, and I put the investment into a charitable foundation before I cashed out because I didn't want the money. I just wanted to use it because of contribution, right? I mean, it's just, and I'm not even sure my net worth was $1.4 million at the time that happened, but I just knew that I could create anything, so it wasn't a problem. So I have a program called Kryptonite Breakthrough, which is it's a great, taking after Superman. And I love to do that. I have corporate clients in that, and I'm, looking at growing that. It's in my mindset arena. And I also became a certified nutrition coach, functional nutritionist. So I really help people with their health. You're looking at a person that's just turned 70 years old last year, and I've never been on a prescription drug. So,
I love that.
I believe that the majority of people can do that. Not everyone by any stretch of imagination because of the hereditary aspects, but I love teaching people nutrition too. So looking at LinkedIn, it was just like, for me, it's another avenue I've never really been.
You forgot network marketing.
Oh, yeah, network marketing. Well, the nutritional products I found were something that helped my dad, and that's when I started. But it happened to be a network marketing company. I didn't know anything about network. I guess people don't go after lawyers to join network marketing companies, but I didn't know anything about the network marketing industry. All I wanted to do was share the products, and that has blown up to, it's just really become large for me because I have a passion for health. But Lydia's my assistant. I've hired her about 21 years ago.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, I can dump off all the technology and everything I don't want to do.
Look at that, Charlotte. We could work together for 21 years. How do you feel about that?
Here for the long haul.
Sick of the life. So it frees me up to do what I'm extremely passionate about, which is where I want to live the rest of my life, no matter how long that is. So now I'm looking at LinkedIn as another platform just to, nurture more clients. So the idea is that as I get on LinkedIn, am I going to be leading with mindset, leading with certified nutrition coach, looking at the two, how they combine, and the network marketing is part of the nutrition aspect of it, but it is a third aspect in that it is, how do I build income streams for people? Because I'm really passionate about that. I love helping people. I do it with so many people that come to me and they go, I can't do network marketing. I go, but you can understand how to build a business. And I'll work with you on understanding how to build a business. And then if you have a certified nutrition coach behind you, you could sell any of the nutrition products I'm talking, right? So I can help support them with that. So I've helped a lot of people grow that business to a significant level too. So, but I don't know what to do on LinkedIn. I'm just kind of in confusion. Where do I, I'm like, okay, all right, what do you want me to do?
Okay. I mean, let's bang out your content pillars right here. I've got them written down for you. Here's my thoughts anyway. Because here's the thing. We talked about this yesterday, right? Like you are the brand. I want you to embrace that. Like I can tell. Like
Stop it there,
your
Lydia.
energy,
Stop it right
who
there.
you are, like you're the effing brand. Okay. You are the brand. Underneath the brand is all these things that you're passionate about that you're going to be multifaceted in your content pillars about. And they're going to cross-pollinate, and it's going to create curiosity across all swim lanes. And what people want to pick and choose to get into deeper conversations with you in the DMs about is going to be up to them, right? What I see, because the mindset coaching is like a business all in itself, right? And then you have the certified nutrition coach. The way I see that is the nutrition from the direct sales company is a tool in your tool belt to get results for the clients that you work with. And it creates an additional income stream. And then you actually have the other product is a business in a box that's teaching people how to eat their own overhead, get healthy while they do it, and grow a business, right? So to me, there's three different offers, right? It's the mindset, it's the certified nutrition, and it's the business opportunity. To me, those are three different like thought leadership authority pillars that I would think about. The fourth pillar that I see for you is financial literacy. Because what happens is, and especially since you have a background as an attorney, you and I both know just because you make money doesn't mean that you actually understand generational wealth or how to make the money you're making actually make more than you. Most people just spend up to what they make, depending on how they were raised. I see so many people around me spending so much money on stupid stuff just to look wealthy when they like have no money in their bank. Like they make, when I say no money in the bank, it's like they're just spending the money that they're making And there's no literacy around the power of geometric progression and the compound effect of something you can build in a direct sales company. And it's not right or wrong, but I think that in general, the industry gets a bad rap because in a lot of the other platforms, it's super pushy on product. And a lot of people don't actually understand the compensation models, and they don't actually truly understand the generational wealth that can happen. And so where I'm going with this is, how do you educate educated people about something they don't understand, right? And so the way I really did it back in the day was via Robert Kiyosaki, right? Like, I love his books around the cash flow quadrant. As a matter of fact, my son I just bought him the teenage book for cash flow quadrant, right? And so it's like, how do you I would encourage you, one of your content pillars each week really starts to educate the difference between an employee and a small business owner, an employee and a solopreneur, an employee and a business investor, and where generational wealth and compound wealth actually happens, and where freedom actually happens is on that side of the quadrant that only 5% of the world live in, but 95% of the wealth, right? And like, you're living and embodying it, right? And so to me, that's the piece that was missing in direct sales that I ran with hard on LinkedIn. I was like such a radical, like opposite of what anyone else was doing in the industry. I went to LinkedIn and talked about money. I talked about compound effect. I talked about like, what rate are you getting in your 401k versus what I just made residually this month doing nothing after building this business. Like, it's way more value than the 401k, the money that's actually making, right? But it's like, but if you haven't educated them, they don't know. They don't know what residual income is. Even an attorney, even a doctor, most of them don't, right? And so now the flip side of that is like, talking about physicians, there are physicians out there teaching people how to invest in real estate. Like, I've got a good friend, that's what she does, right? And create. But so for you, I would have a content pillar around mindset, because that brings value to everyone, no matter whether they need nutrition support, mindset work at work, mindset work in their business. So mindset, and then once a week, I would talk about the power of the nutrition piece, be seen as an authority in the nutrition arena, right? Pillar 4, financial literacy. Like, every week, hit them over the head with residual income, the power of a 1099, like being in a 1099 and the tax write-offs that you get. If you're a high net worth individual, like, you want the tax write-offs. Everybody should own a small business. Most people don't know that, right? So it's like, educate them on that. So that's the financial literacy piece, right? And then the fourth is the business and entrepreneurship, like really empowering them to see that even if they are busy individuals, even if they are, people who show up and make money like money, right? Like, I actually found that the most motivated humans were not the ones, broke, sleeping on their parents' couch. Like, the people who really had big goals were already showing up. And so the other thing you may want to look at when it comes to network growth is, if you want a power partner upstream with people with huge networks, when it comes to the nutrition and direct sales, and also the certified nutrition coach aspect, I would partner with healthcare providers that value that in the holistic space. So I would connect with holistic, like functional medicine doctors. I would connect with chiropractors. A lot of them have capped incomes on the number of patients they can see. That's how much money they're going to make. But if you can teach a chiropractor, if you can have them consume the nutrition and get them behind the science behind it to drive better results for their clients, and partner with them for referral base, we've seen this in our mastermind last year. It's a win-win for everyone. And now the chiropractor has another income stream, right? Does that make sense? Perfect. That's the route I went. And that's what I encourage you to do is that's the more you can actually step in your power and confidence, people will actually listen. Yeah. Right.
And the idea, the whole financial aspect of it too is, my whole play all along was always, it didn't matter how much money I made. It was always like, I even had my husband, Matt, he had matching donation, 500 in his JOB that he had his whole life. He had $500 a month. I said, well, why aren't you giving him $500? They're going to give you $500. I don't have a place I can get 100% rate of return. I don't have that.
I wish I did. I put 500 in, they matched it. And he goes,
Right.
I'm still going. So I wrote him a check every single month. And his account was 1.6 million. On $500 a month for
Yeah.
30 years, right?
Yeah.
The air. I mean, it's just, I love teaching that. Why do you have to go out and buy that new car, buy the new this, buy that, everybody has to, it's like, we're so into how we show up and what we look like to other people. I'd rather have 1.6 million in a bank account.
Totally. My kids and I have that conversation all the time. My
Yeah.
son is like, Mom, you just made enough money to buy a G-Wagon. And I'm like, then I just look rich. Why don't we put it and invest it somewhere and be rich? You know?
Exactly. I've been doing it my whole life. So
And then it'll just depreciate the moment I drive it off the lot. Right? Like maybe one day, somebody's going to call this recording 5 years from now when I'm driving a G-Wagon, but that's not where I'm putting it right now. So does that help?
yeah, no, perfect. Yeah, that's what I needed.
Okay.
Directional on, because I wasn't sure. I'm sitting here looking at this expansive, never being on LinkedIn. I wasn't sure what's most important for me to express out there to attract people. Because
Yeah, I think we've got your pillars: mindset, certified like nutrition, financial literacy, business, and entrepreneurship. The fifth one, I know the timer went off, but this goes back to all of you all. Your story.
Yeah.
Your story. You have such a compelling story. It's so relatable. Yeah.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah, I know the time went out, but can I ask one question?
Lydia.
Because there's so much training in the back end. I mean, you guys are amazing. To start, so I started at the goal setting.
Okay.
What do I do? Do I go back and do the LinkedIn basics? Because those seem to be more of like a how-to kind of thing.
Yeah, I would bypass LinkedIn basics unless you need to learn some basics on the back end. Some of you are still working through like how to upload a banner or, like the dials and knobs of LinkedIn. But most of you have established that's more for people who are literally learning the platform. I would jump right into build, like the build category, and go through the modules that get you growing in the network, building your content, so that you can start working the LinkedIn checklist as quickly as possible.
So maybe like do like a module a week. Would that be good?
Yeah.
Like the whole, like the build section. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you. So what'd you think?
Wow.
That was awesome.
That was great.
Yes, that was very helpful too. Thank you for sharing that.
So Lydia, when she was talking about the build categories, is that something that you're getting
Yeah, you're going to be getting
from
that.
them or it's
Yeah.
in LinkedIn? Okay.
No, yeah, you're going to be getting the videos, and that's about 3 to 4 hours of training.
I wonder if I'm going to have time to connect with people.
You do the training when you can't be connecting with people.
Oh, I'm with you, Derek. Is like, okay, where can we get another 5 hours?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you all the basics. It's not going to be a week of our work, but I'm going to give you access to all those recordings and keep it as a resource library kind of thing for you.
Yes,
Okay.
set yourself up to store them somewhere. Not that you're never going to watch them, please, but have a category where you know you can go to and you just can click off. You get one done, and you keep a record of it, of what you've completed. But the most important thing is, what are my takeaways from it? I know a lot of people listen to a lot of stuff. When I ask them, I said, okay, what are your top 3 takeaways? They go, what do you mean, Mary Jo? I'm like, okay. I mean, you can't take away an hour and a half of training. You can only take away so many bits, and whatever struck you is what's most important. Typically, it's what it was most important for me. What was my next step? What are things I need to do next? And that's what you want to take away from those things, because otherwise you'll have to go back. Can we all raise our hand and say, Mary Jo, I've been through there before where I had to go back and re-listen to it like 4 times. And instead of a 1-hour training where you grasped exactly what you needed from it, because you were really focused on listening to what was most important to you, not the dog barking or the cat screaming or someone knocking at your door, listening to what's most important to me in this training and writing them down so you capture it in that moment so you don't have to go back and listen to it 5 times. So that's what I'd say. Every time you listen, capture what's most important for me now.
And the basics are really, they're shorter videos. It's just, how do you do an action on LinkedIn is what it really is. Okay. Well, I know we have another call here that was supposed to start 2 minutes ago.
Thank
So
you,
we
guys.
can
Thank
jump off. We will see you guys later.
Where?
Sure we
When?
When? Anne's going, when?
I
When are
don't
we gonna-"
know yet.
Oh.
Not today.
I keep missing emails, so,
Yeah.
you know, I'm getting
Always.
paranoid.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.